All right, so tail of the dragon, 40 degrees, medium rain. Stupid. So as best laid plans often do, things didn't work out to get the GR86 on the Dragon as I had hoped. I'm out here with the Southeast Region Automotive Media Association, also known as SARAMA, and we were previewing a bunch of different vehicles on the tail of the Dragon in the Foothills Parkway, which is pretty awesome, to be honest with you. And I brought the GR86 courtesy of Toyota, which was an absolutely epic car to have up here. But because I was the one that brought it up, I let everyone else drive it first. And so, because I wanted to ride in the new Z and stuff like that, so I never actually got to take the GR86 on the Dragon. And I thought, I'll just do it tomorrow. So the temperature is approximately 40 degrees and it's constant rain. But we're gonna do this anyway. We're gonna do it carefully. So I'm gonna hook up the GoPro in the car and I'm gonna give you a tour of the tail of the Dragon in 40 degrees and raining in the GR86. Because I feel like this car needs to be on the Dragon. Now, if you'd like to see a more comprehensive review, go check out my other more comprehensive review, obviously, in the description below. I'll put a link down there. But this is going to be the GR86 on the tail of the Dragon as I originally intended. So forgive me for not having a white knuckle thrash through the Dragon, but, you know, we'll see what it can do in this condition. All right, so we are at the official starting point of the tail of the Dragon in the cold and the rain. And we're gonna do this at a safe and respectful speed, all right? I would not advise doing this if you're unfamiliar with the road. I've been up here quite a bit, so I am, and I know where the most dangerous parts are. So we're gonna be extremely cautious there. But let's see how the GR86 handles, especially on Michelin Pilot Sports. This is not the ideal, tire setup and weather, but we're going to forge ahead and see how it goes. I'm leaving all of the traction control and stuff on. I'm also not putting it in sport mode because the GR86 is not exactly a torque monster, but I don't want the rear end getting loose in these conditions until we establish like what the grip level is. It seems to be okay on that corner, but when you're dealing with the Dragon, conditions can change. We're also going to a higher elevation. And so I don't think the temperature is going to drop anywhere, to be concerned about near freezing, but I don't want any stuff from last night, remnants of any frozen patches or things like that. But, this hard left-hander, I'm running it north to south and accidentally put on the turn signal there like a doofus. I'm running it north to south, and so that's kind of the easier way to run it, if I'm being honest. But there's a hard left and a hard right here near the beginning, and I want to see. Okay, we're pretty good as long as the weight transfers to the rear. GR86 has not got a lot of sound deadening. I hope you're not picking up too much of that noise. It's fun, but I'm gonna come up to the S's here in a second, taking it real easy on these off camber corners and doing some trail braking in. I'm also not running it in manual mode. This is unfortunately an automatic GR86, the only one Toyota had to provide for us, and I'm not running it in manual mode just yet, but I might switch over just for the predictability, not to hoon it. Just so that I can predict the gears a little bit better. The automatic's not bad, but in some of these slower corners, it is not providing the shift that I want. So I'm gonna go over to manual mode. I might need second the way the GR86 is geared with the automatic. Yeah, second gear is gonna be the choice here for sure. Much better, much better. But so far, I'm going at a moderate speed. I felt a little wiggle there. And now we're getting into some dense fog. Oh, this is what I mean. Conditions on the Dragon can change very rapidly. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You might think I'm crazy, but this is a little bit of a treat, honestly, because, you know, not many people get to see the Dragon in these conditions. So I don't know how well it's translating on camera, but we are in, I wouldn't say pea soup fog conditions, but it is very foggy. I've got about, I don't know, 100 feet of visibility, give or take. I mean, the Dragon doesn't give you much visibility anyway. I'm impressed that this automatic is not the craziest thing in the world, but it is fairly responsive to the paddle shift inputs. That was not. That was more my fault, though. I was over braking out of a abundance of caution there, which is probably wise. There's a little bit of debris. We're gonna avoid that. I would not, if you're a motorcycle enthusiast, I would definitely not be doing the Dragon in these conditions, the wet, cold conditions. It's just a bit ridiculous. One thing I like a lot about the GR86 is the suspension is firm, but there's a bit of compliance to keep it drivable, daily drivable. It's somewhere, like we had a Supra up here and a Miata, and it sort of falls like between those two. The Miata is a little more loose and playful, and then the Supra is kind of more serious and buttoned down. And then the GR86, woo, it's getting foggy, oh my gosh. The GR86 is sort of somewhere in the middle between those two. That was handled nicely. I went down to second gear and put a little weight on the rear end. But guys, we're down to about 30 feet of visibility now. It's, oh God. Paddle shifters, I forgot they go with the wheel in this car. One problem it's maybe hard to tell, you might notice that I'm having a little bit of trouble with, is that the steering wheel is just a bit further away than I would like for it to be, even though I'm very tall. It's because I have to have the seat all the way back, and the steering wheel adjustment doesn't quite come out far enough. Man, we are going really slow here. You cannot, I mean, 30 feet probably is good visibility, and then it just falls off completely after that. They don't call this the Smoky Mountains for nothing. And now where the trees opened up, we're down to about 20 feet. It's good though, because you can't see the cliff that you're gonna fly off of, so that's always positive. I will admit that in the GR86, I am glad I am in the GR86 for this, because it is small enough to give you a little bit of wiggle room here in the lanes, and I appreciate that. I don't think I would want to be doing this in the Supra. It's too big and too aggressive, really. The Miata would be ideal, but honestly, with the wet, I would rather have a little bit more tire. Wow, these Michelins are impressive. I mean, it's chilly and it's damp, and I have not had any issues with grip or braking. I mean, we're going, I'll call this like a 5/10 run. But this is an experience. Like, this is an experience. I wouldn't discourage anyone from doing this necessarily. If you are familiar with the Dragon, I would say if you're not familiar with the Dragon, this might be somewhat terrifying. I wish I had some external GoPros mounted here so you guys could get a better sense of the fog. I feel like there's no such thing as a decent line in these conditions because I'm trying to be conservative and can't see all that well. So that's a deceptive part where someone's gonna have a real bad day in these conditions. Now, ooh, suddenly the fog has lifted. Maybe all the bad weather was more on the other side of the mountain. That's a cool thing about the Dragon, is that you can experience multiple weather conditions in one run. And as we've dropped the elevation a little bit, the fog has lifted, and now it's just a little bit wet. Brakes are definitely up to the task, at least for one run. I'm asking a lot of them because I'm afraid. Yeah, see, brakes, great job there. Great job. Building a little speed, scrubbing it off for me to feel safe. Very nice. Remember what I said, going from north to south is what I would consider the easier of the two directions. I am missing every apex, but you know what? That's not why we're out here. There's the fire. I don't know if you can see it through the window. They had a fire here the other day. Wow, turn-in was really good there. That was a... All right, under braking, these Michelins and the GR are very impressive. Got a little squirrely there, but not unexpected. Go through some of these dips as we get closer to the south side. We gotta be careful because the suspension changes and camber changes can be pretty extreme. Not something you want to get caught out on. Oh, there's a fair amount of debris in the road there. Big branch. And that right there, folks, is why you have to be careful. That was a large branch and a lot of crap. And that was gonna be a real bad day for somebody. Motorcyclists come through here and you don't wanna be surprised by something like that. We're not to the big dip yet. I was a little premature in my estimation there. Oh, another branch. Yeah, the fog has evaporated, which is great. Here's the big dip. Ooh, yes. Nicely done, GR86. It's like the suspension goes from full rebound to compression in like the blink of an eye. You have full extension and then the car hits and then it goes back up again. It's a very, very intense test of the car's abilities. We have not passed another person out here today, and I'm not sure that we will. Sometimes the GR86 gets a little unsettled over kind of rough patches, just a little skittery, nothing major, nothing to be concerned about. That part is probably one of the most dangerous parts going back this way. You have to wind the wheel in, and I think these decreasing radius turns with no margin for error, they catch people out here. Especially because they're near the end, like we're not far from the end of the Dragon. And when you start to build up a little bit of confidence, like right here, oof, that's a long one, it can really get people into trouble. They start to think they're a Dragon hero. And then you get to this last bit, you've been lulled into a false sense of security and find yourself in a corner that you can't make, which is not where you want to be when you're on the cliff side of the Dragon. But I will say, if you could take this thing down at a 10 tenths, I think it's just small enough and just powerful enough to give you a more aggressive run. Like the Miata was just sublime. It was transcendent. If you haven't seen my video in the Miata going down the Dragon, I referred to it as a spiritual experience, and it really was. This, I think, might be the best weapon for the Dragon. If you had it set up perfectly, it's just the right size for this road. I have a C5 Corvette, and that is not the right size for this road. That is way, way, way too big for this road. And I've had people be like, you just know how to drive it properly. No, there's a hard rule in the Dragon. You don't ever cross the double yellow. If you cross the double yellow, you're a terrible person out here. And it is, you can't take a line in something like a C5 Corvette without crossing the double yellow. So it's a no for max attack mode. You need something smaller like a Cayman. That's why Killboy drives a Porsche Cayman. Golly, man, there is a lot of debris out here. I hope the motorcyclists are being careful. This section, another lull you into security, and then kaboosh, hard right-hander right here. Up the hill. And you get a little off camber, that back end will get a little squirrely. Another section of straights. We're not gonna go too crazy, more because of debris right now. I've got good visibility though. It's a nasty pothole they need to fix there. And then another right-hander. Well, look through basically the passenger window. Little squirrely there. Got to keep that traction control on, people. It's not going to save your bacon if you go off the mountain, but it will provide you a little bit of a safety net. Should have gone to second, that was my bad. And the rain is starting to pick up, so we are going to chill because we have reached the North Carolina border, which is near the end. We're almost to the store. Put it back into auto mode. That's my signal for we have now toned it down. Oh, so GR86, Tail of the Dragon, in the rain. It is approximately 46 degrees now. We've actually increased in temperature. Can it handle it? Yeah, yeah. Can these Michelins handle it? Oh yeah. I was impressed. But guys, please understand that I've done the Dragon a number of times, and I am by no means some kind of Dragon driving guru. I'm just an enthusiast. It's the people who think they're gurus who get into big trouble. So if you're ever in these conditions, take it easy. Take it very easy, especially if you're new to the Dragon. Don't overdrive the car and don't outdrive your skill. And just for context, that was about 20 minutes end to end. That's not bad in the wet. Wow. Okay, I'm pleased with that. Well guys, that was the Tail of the Dragon in the wet in the GR86, okay? So I hope you found this somewhat useful or interesting. During that run, we went from rain to fog to now it's raining again. The temperature went slightly up. There was tons of debris in the road. This is not something that I would recommend for the novice, but it was an interesting sort of challenge for the GR86. We're outside of the Killboy store at Tail of the Dragon, and there's Deals Gap behind us. So thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, I know it was a semi-long video for, you know, inside the car action, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking, please consider subscribing, please consider checking out the GR86, which is just a fabulous car all around. And until next time, please drive safe, okay? And I will see you in the next video. All right, peace.